What's going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Bunkine. I'm here with the Fun Robotics Network at the first Mid-Atlantic District Championship event held at Lehigh University. I'm here with an amazing team, Team 1218. They're going to be going through their robot Geode with us. I have Leo, Quentin, and Alex. Check it out here on Behind the Bumpers. All right, Leo, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about our drive base. So we're using the MK5Ns from SDS with the L2 gear ratio. And something about this that we find really unique is the way that we keep these robust throughout the competition. So we have two different systems for that. The first is using Molex and power pole crimps so that our entire swerve drive is completely hot swappable when we need to change it out if we ever see a problem with anything. We can swap out a swerve drive in around 5 minutes, which is really nice. Another cool thing that we do is we have a donut roller that we can drop into any swerve drive that we need in case of something goes wrong right before a competition, right before a match. We can drop this in and be completely fine for the next match. Those are just two things that we do to stay really robust.
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interest, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first. AnyMark is your one-stop shop for all things FTC. Teams who are looking for inspiration in decode can check out AnyMark's Robits Core Kit and FTC Starter Bot, which are designed with usability and accessibility in mind. And check out some of their new components suitable for any FTC robot. Head on over to anymark.com to find solutions that fit your team.
Now I'm going to pass it off to Alex to talk about the ground intake.
So this is our ground intake. From the very beginning of kickoff, we knew that we wanted an intake that would fold in on itself. So we originally had a 5-bar mechanism. However, it was really complex and hard to repair. So we switched to a much simpler 4-bar. And then we have dead axle rollers, dead axle sub rollers, which meant that we don't have an axle going through the middle of it. So we could put that weight that we cut out with the rollers to making our intake stronger. So we have an 1/8 inch crash bar, 1x1 crash bar here, which helps protect our rollers and anything behind it from getting hit. We also, our kicker bar here is tall enough that it can go over the depot while also being able to clear any balls in the spindexer.
Yeah. So moving on to our spindexer, this is probably our most iterated on mechanism. We actually went into our first competition with an omni wheel in the middle. We still had the rotating plate, but we actually did a lot of iterations between our first two competitions to increase our balls per second. And eventually we landed on just the spinning plate with a cone design to start funneling them in. And then we added this 90-degree roller to our kicker, which helped really center them and get them in much quicker. So moving on to our kickers run off of one X60, and it has this 4-inch rotating 90-degree wheel, and then 3-inch rollers to help boost it up into our turret.
So was the 90-degree roller, was that like a mid-season upgrade?
Yeah, so that was after our first competition. Once we switched from the omni wheel to the cone, we needed something else that was going to help it stay centered and get the balls in faster. So moving on to our turret, the actual rotation mechanism is a 90-tooth 10 DP spur gear that's run off of an X44 with a 37.5:1 gear ratio. We use Chinese remainder theorem, and there is 2 encoders that are co-prime off of each other, one that is 9:1 and one that is 10:1, and this allows us to get the absolute position of our turret. So the next thing is our shooter. So we have about 6 pounds of mass on our shooter to really keep that rotational inertia up. This is run off of 2 X60s, which is really helpful to be able to keep our shots super consistent. Our next thing is our 3D printed hood. So we use a herringbone gear that's ran off of an Neo 550, and then this allows us to change our hood angle from 17.9 degrees all the way up to 45 degrees, which lets us get those really far shots from the neutral zone.
With the Chinese remainder theorem, I know a lot of teams have been using that for their hood zeroing or their hood positioning, or I'm sorry, turret positioning. Did you guys run into any challenges with backlash when you were using it?
No, so we've actually designed the system specifically for backlash, which was really important. We actually ran a test during our season and found that we have about 0.5 degrees of backlash throughout this entire system from each encoder. So we didn't really run into a problem with that, which was really nice.
Very cool.
Another thing is our electrical system. So we route our wires underneath our turret because we have a lifted turret, and this allows us for this to have a tight wrap and get us 360 degrees of rotation. I'm going to move it on to Quentin to talk about a little bit about software.
Yeah, so speaking of software, something super important this year has been the vision. And we are running 4 cameras. These are like standard Ardu cams. And each one is connected to an individual Orange Pi 5, which is running photon vision. And those are housed under the belly pan, right? And so when designing vision this year, it was super important that we could see tags from wherever we would be when we're shooting. So we made sure to have sort of like almost a 360 view with these cameras here, and then we have 2 on the back here as well. And speaking of shooting, when we were thinking about how we wanted to shoot, we knew that shooting on the move would be super important. So we've actually been running with a time of flight recursion method, which requires us to have a data map using time of flight and distance and shooter RPM and hood angle and relating those things. And we also decided not to go with a physics model because we felt that the data would better represent our mechanism, especially with drag and things, which makes the physics super complicated to compute. And speaking of data, we've in the past, to compute that or to find that time of flight, we've been taking videos of our shots into the hub. And we found that process to take a lot of time because you'd have to go back through those videos, count every frame, and sort of figure out how long that was. And it was also very inaccurate looking from our statistics. So what we actually did was we created a Arduino sensor that's hooked up to a beam brake or a banner sensor that goes right in here to detect the ball coming through here. And then on the hub, we have like a flat board that goes over the top of the hub. And we just connected a vibration sensor to that board. So when a ball comes out and it hits that, we can calculate the difference between those 2 times.
Nice.
And we're able to get that data super quickly.
All right, well, that's going to do it. Thanks again to SCH Robotics Team 1218. Thank you to Alex, Quentin, and Leo for demonstrating a very, very impressive robot. Highly, highly competitive with a very, very impressive iterative process. They put a lot of hard work into this machine, and it's really showing on the field. If you did like this content, please like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. AnyMark is your one-stop shop for all things FTC. Teams who are looking for inspiration in decode can check out AnyMark's Robits Core Kit and FTC Starter Bot, which are designed with usability and accessibility in mind. And check out some of their new components suitable for any FTC robot. Head on over to anymark.com to find solutions that fit your team. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interests, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first.